What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about how to unlock the 5 free blueprints and all Safehouse puzzles in the Black Ops 6 campaign. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, drop a like, and as a big reminder, there's a lot of brand new coverage going up on dkdynamite.com for those who want to stay up to date with all things Call of Duty. Plenty of articles have been going up for every game mode, but when it comes to campaign, a step-by-step walkthrough of each mission was already posted to coincide with all of my gameplay walkthroughs, which have been going up here on the channel today. Thank you so much for the crazy support. Almost 90,000 of you guys that tuned in to my live stream where we went ahead and beat the campaign for the very first time. With that being said, though, don't forget you can also use code Dynamite to save 10% off any Control Freak order, including for the new Black Ops 6 thumbsticks, any Steel Series product, or even for the new Black Ops 6 aim controller. All links are going to be down below in this video's description. But obviously, a bunch of campaign rewards did get confirmed several weeks ago. Treyarch actually reminded us of these rewards over on Twitter today, but to be very specific with what you earn in each mission, let's break it down. Thankfully, in the main menu, we do have a bit of a UI pop-up that tells us exactly what reward we're going to earn for beating a certain mission. For Bishop Takes Rook, the beginning of the campaign, you're going to get this specific spray, which I'll show you guys in the menu so you can get a clearer look. On top of that, for the mission known as Blood Feud, you're going to be getting this specific sticker. But for completing Most Wanted, which is arguably one of the best missions in the game, you're going to get the Hook, Line, and Sinker finishing move. It's a pretty cool finisher. There obviously aren't too many available in Black Ops 6, so this will be amongst one of the first that you can actually unlock here inside of the game. Obviously, many more are going to be released through future bundles. But then for the Emergence campaign mission, which is also probably one of the strongest missions available here in the campaign, you're going to get this sticker promoting the Advanced Technologies and Applications Company, which does play a pretty large role in this specific mission. But then for beating the very memorable casino mission called High Rollers, you're going to go ahead and unlock this high skin for Troy Marshall. Again, although you unlock this specific operator at a certain player level, if you just get this skin unlocked from beating this particular level, then that means you can infinitely play as Marshall even after you prestige. You won't lose access to the operator since you have a skin for him. But then for ground control, you're going to be unlocking a tank charm, which is perfectly fitting considering you use a tank inside of that airport. And then for Under the Radar, the mission that takes place in Vorkuta, you're going to get this badass loading screen, which also could serve as a wallpaper in your social menu. But for finishing the final level called Checkmate, you're going to get the Cradle Weapon charm that you can use in any game mode of your choice. And that's going to do it for all the cosmetic rewards for beating the single player, of course excluding the blueprints, which I wanted to talk about in a separate timestamp. So for going ahead and beating this specific campaign mission, you're going to be unlocking the Onyx Sniper blueprint, right? This Cradle mission is also pretty fun. You got to go ahead and storm into Saddam Hussein's palace. After beating this mission, which is pretty early on in the campaign, you're going to get this really nice looking skin. I do want to mention, yes, I'm fully aware the blueprints that you get for beating the campaign or the specific levels are actually for the same weapons that you get Mastercrafts for in the Vault Edition, so I could understand if you're not a collector but simply wanted some cool skins for your weapons, you probably won't go for these if you own the Vault Edition. But hey, if you don't, then these blueprints could serve as permanent unlocks for the specific weapons, since once you prestige, you won't lose access to this weaponry since you have skins for them. But next up, we have the Case Cracker melee weapon blueprint. It's for the basic knife. This actually requires a series of puzzles that have to be completed inside of the safe house, and you can actually do these puzzles as early as you'd like. As soon as you gain access to the safe house known as the Rook within the campaign is when you can go ahead and do all these puzzles in just a matter of minutes. Now, what's awesome is that once you complete all these safe house puzzles, you're going to be unlocking this achievement called the Puzzles Mason. But as we start with our first puzzle dealing with the piano, what you want to do is head into this room where the piano is located and pick up the black light right next to the fireplace. You can ideally skip what I'm about to say since you're watching my guide. You could just copy exactly what I do for this particular step. But just to explain how this was solved, you want to aim the black light at the walls until you see the numbers 1 through 5. Those numbers are going to be next to very specific Russian keys. What you want to do is play the piano in the order 1 to 5 by matching the symbols that correspond with numbers 1 to 5. So if you copy exactly what keys I click here on screen, this piano puzzle will end up getting solved for you. Once you do that, it'll unlock a door right next to you where you can access a locked bunker. Now, in order to access the locked bunker, you have to go ahead and turn on the basement generator. What you want to do is take a look at the 3 interactables here. The first interactable is a boiler that you can turn twice to go ahead and close it. That shuts off the water, which is really important. You then want to look to your left and interact with the fuel valve until it reads half. In my game, it was already at half, so I didn't have to touch it, but you may have to interact with it about once or twice. Once that's at half, go over to the pilot and hit on. The light will then turn green, indicating that you've completed this puzzle. The boiler will now stay on forever and you can no longer interact with it. But now you can walk into this secret room where you can find a number of different hallways. Go up to this particular keypad Keypad, and it's going to give you a bit of a Wordle type challenge, similar to what you've probably already seen if you've beaten various campaign levels. What you want to do is shine the black light over all the numbers in the keypad and see which numbers were pressed the most, if at all. And you want to do some trial and error using the numbers that were clicked on the keypad. Again, only the numbers with fingerprints on them. So if you guys go ahead and pick a number and it's green, that means it's correct and it's in that position. But if you see the color yellow, that means that the number is correct for the sequence, but not in the specific order that you selected it in. So keep note of that number for later. And if it's red, that means you're pretty far off and the number isn't a part of the sequence. You only have 5 tries to figure out the sequence before the sequence itself ends up changing to a different set of numbers. Don't worry, it's not as hard as it may sound. And as you can see, in a couple of attempts, you can go ahead and figure out exactly what the sequence is intended to be. But make sure you guys don't copy the sequence that I got, because it's going to be a different sequence for every game that you spawn into. But once you're in this room, you can see this computer that you can go ahead and hack, and it's going to give you a bit of a cipher puzzle, which we also saw in several different campaign levels. This is also pretty easy because the words you're going to have to go ahead and input are the same in everybody's game. However, the order in which you have to input those numbers will be different for everybody. The words are going to be open, room, holding, and bunker. All you're really doing here is matching the letters to the number, as you can see in the key towards the bottom, and it'll tell you at the very top what code word it wants you to put in. You can also just go ahead and guess what the word is based on what I just told you. If it's giving you 4 numbers to input as a code word, that's going to be the word open or room, whereas the code word that requires 7 letters is going to be the word holding. Now, once you're in the holding room, you want to go ahead and pick the lock, which is really simple to do. You just got to go ahead and move your analog stick until you find exactly where the lock can be picked. Now, the point of opening up this room is because you're looking for a key that'll be located right here on a table, as you'll see in just a second. If there are any other secrets found within the safe house or in any of these other corridors, I of course will make a follow-up video, because there's quite a bit to explore here inside of the Rook safe house. Now, you're going to be taking this key to a specific door, and you'll know you're at the right door when you see a signal pop up on your screen from a radio. And then you're going to be able to interact with the dials on this radio so that you can match the waveforms of the amplitude and frequency. It's pretty simple. As you can see, I do it in a matter of seconds. So long as they look relatively close to one another, it'll end up matching and will start playing you a secret message. Now, the secret message is going to be different in every game that you play. Won't be the same as what you see here in my recording. What you want to do is listen or have subtitles on and take note of what items the character mentions, right? Because what you have to do is take a look at those exact items in this room and take a look at the numbers next to each of those items, and that'll be your 4-digit code for opening the safe. So in my game, the Russian voice does mention a lamp, followed by a broom, a television, and then a flag. The mistake I made in my game was I took a look at the number next to a different flag, which actually wasn't the right one. It was this flag, as you will see on screen in particular. And then from there, I got my 4-digit code, which I can then take upstairs in the safe house to open the safe. But now that you've gone ahead and opened the safe, you've unlocked the case cracker knife blueprint, and you of course got the puzzles mason achievement for having done every single puzzle here inside of the safe house. Now, as far as the other blueprint rewards do go, we have Truth Serum for the AMES 85, the Bastion for the Marine SP shotgun, and the Pocket Aces for the Jacko PDW. Those can only be unlocked using campaign money, which you can actually find around each individual level. Once you have about $500 in cash is when you can go up to this board and purchase the weapons bench. Now, the weapons bench does provide you with a number of different permanent unlocks for your character in campaign, although there aren't any loadouts. You can of course enhance your character with various perks. Now, within this weapons bench, you can also go ahead and purchase the 3 remaining blueprints that are a part of the campaign rewards. After finishing the campaign without doing much exploring or many side Easter eggs, I finished with around, I think, $3,600, and you'll probably end up with a similar amount of money. But if you actually do some exploring around some of the environments, you do some side objectives, and you discover some other secrets, you can actually go ahead and get a lot more money. I'm sure there'll end up being a method found in the coming days showing you guys how to get a ton of money relatively quickly, whether it's a bug or whether it's some type of restart method. I'll make a follow-up short to this video talking about that so you can unlock those blueprints even faster. I managed to unlock just the AR for now. I'm going to end up doing the SMG and the shotgun a little bit later. But something worth pointing out is that when you find cash around a campaign level, you don't have to finish that mission for the money to save to your account. If you save at a checkpoint or just override that mission progress and go back to the safe house, then you can go ahead and still spend that money that you just found. The cash can be found randomly around any level, whether it's on an enemy, whether it's in a secret box. Take a look around the environment and you'll find decent stacks of cash for a couple $100. Hopefully some bigger stacks are out there though. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave our thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on the blueprint unlocks and all the safe house puzzles here in the Black Ops 6 campaign? I'll of course make some follow-up videos as more Easter eggs are discovered, and I do have an ending explained video also in the works for you guys. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out everybody.